Hello, and welcome to the after show for Vampire the Masquerade episode 5. Welcome.
Five.
So we're not going to side with episode 2 is we're not siding with the Camarilla. Episode 4 is we're not siding with the Anarchs. So we're just going to side with the Sabbat.
Good luck.
I mean,
this is honestly like that revelation right there. Like just even saying that, like I don't want to side with the Camarilla or the Anarchs is meaning I did my job is what that means, because the harsh reality
both of them have bad things about them, and both you know what I mean?
Like neither of them are good.
It's like pick the greater evil, like all politics fucking are.
Yep.
Right.
It's like you can wish for a third party system, but you're not getting one.
No.
Not for a while.
Good luck forming your own.
The fall of the Camarilla around the world is a first step, but that there's still the Camarilla is still like, if things just go without a Gehenna event really going, they're still like a good century away from completely losing their power across the world.
But it tends to happen quite quickly and rapidly once it does get going.
Yeah, because that's like what I was saying as Mark is like you wait for the winds to change, you get the first whiff, now you ride the wave until it's at the point where you make a move, and when you make the move, it's going to be quick. Because if you act too early, the Camarilla is just going to stomp you out and be like, no, you have to be patient.
You need all the pawns to side, because all the pawns are going to be like, I'm safe under the Camarilla, then you die if you attack them. And if you attack and then the pawns think the Camarilla's are weak enough, they change sides, because they have nothing to win under the Camarilla.
Yep. There's just so much going on. There's so much like just happening.
It's cool to see everyone's background stories too coming out slowly as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's intriguing.
I will say
between Dakota and Bub was adorable. Like that ending bit. Yeah. I was like, that's an interesting. Like the relationships are so different from like him and her versus Zach and him, and so I think like Camille's picking up on that right away.
Yeah. It's very interesting to watch you guys just stumble a lot, but still not fall face down and keep catching yourselves here and there, and it makes for fantastic drama. I will say, Bub, I am very surprised you, with Shuichi in tow, went to where you went to get the comics.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's just gonna go get the comics. Wait, this is a personal place? Why the hell did you take Shuichi there?
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I've got my own machinations that are working behind the scenes. I'm trying to see where loyalties lie and how manipulations work. And nobody's ever really sure if this is ever just the Butcher being facetious and lying himself.
Yeah.
I could be as cold and as manipulative as the rest of you.
Yeah.
I need to start inciting the Butcher more.
I mean, it would make sense. You are Nosferatu, so.
It's true.
Nosferatu are equally as fucking sneaky and slimy and underhanded. They have a whole fucking network.
I mean, it does go without saying, like, Butcher is very much in tune with who he was. But there were some things seen tonight that I tried to trickle it in, like when I was scoping out Jules, or at least trying to see what she was going on there. When I saw another figure in the apartment, like that was like bitter envy, because he knows that could be him. But now he's stuck forever doing this shitty job. So, is what it is. We'll see if other things get picked up on. But I hope people like the character. I know that there are a couple of very excited few, but I hope that as players, you guys are like, it's actually fun.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. I think a lot of people love Bub.
Good.
Yeah.
But what about Ollie,
they love you. And Oliver is fantastic.
What about Ollie, though? Oh, man. I'm constantly like, I'm anxious. I'm like, please don't. I'm waiting on people to pick him apart. I've done the worst thing you can do, and that's start reading YouTube comments.
Oh, no.
Don't do that. Yeah. They're so horrible.
Remember, like I don't know shit about Vampire at all. So I'm learning a lot vicariously through you guys, but I'm also reading a lot, learning the YouTube comments.
I love how many people in the YouTube comments are like, you're not playing like a typical like 100% stereotype of an Nosferatu. Yeah. How dare you? It's like, you do realize that those are stereotype like defaults. Like they're not everyone. Like vampires are just as much as the humans.
It's boring if it's all stuff that you can predict.
Absolutely.
Like, If you have a character that on the surface looks like something that is predictable, but then when you get into the nitty gritty of it, like it is so much deeper and has so much more to it, people will love your characters for way longer than if it's just like, oh, I can predict everything you're going to do and say. Right?
Absolutely. What you need stereotypes for is NPCs. Player characters need to be as deep as what you've done, Bub.
I don't know. I think NPCs that have depth are much more intriguing. It depends
on the point of the NPC. It's like, it depends how you're meant to interact with them.
That's true. What is the purpose of that NPC?
If you stereotype the NPC, that helps you know, right, I know how to interact with this person, and then we can walk away. It means you don't have to spend a 5-minute conversation trying to get to know the bartender who you just want to order a drink off. Like, we knew wholesome American bartender, cool, done, bam.
Stereotypes fill a role, and what we do as characters is not, we write story, we don't fill a role. Like game is simply structure, and I think a lot of people forget that it doesn't have to be all end all. And in my opinion, I really like the way 5th edition has added this aspect of having to cope with your humanity on a more structured level. Like, that's what a lot of people too, like I too have been reading the YouTube comments. Then my alligator skin's like, bitch, please. But
even the comments, I will say, even the YouTube comments are mostly very good.
They're mostly positive. Oh yeah, it's just always somebody who's like rule mongering or
I like, not to take for like episode like 2, there was somebody like, that's not how the rules work, and I'm like, bitch, I like took the book out and I was like, all right,
yes, it is.
Out, like, no, you're wrong, here's how the rules work.
But again, you know, it's like, and again, maybe it's just the kind of viewer you are. Are you more interested in the story? Are you more interested in rules? But
like, some people are mechanics driven.
Yeah. Right. And I think from the beginning we talked to Mathis about the fact that like we wanted this to be new vampires that are having to figure the world out actively.
Which is great.
Right, which means that we may make choices that a much older vampire would not make. Yeah, stupid choices. Like, we deserve to get to make their stupid choices. And you as the audience get to watch us deal with them, and that's really what holds
and like Mathis said before, that's why so many young vampires just die, because like they get themselves in trouble and then they get killed.
Well, yeah, but can you just imagine being like an everyday person? You get turned suddenly, like normally against your will or whatever, and then like you can't talk to anyone from your previous life, really?
Yeah.
Without letting anything go. You have no idea how this big intricate system works. You have no idea who the contacts are that you can talk to and not talk to.
I think a lot of those comments are coming from the viewpoint as well of seasoned like World of Darkness or vampire players.
Right.
And a lot of vampire campaigns, especially with more experienced players, never start at lick level. Like a lot of vampire campaigns always start where you've been around for 15 or 20 years or more, so your characters already have an understanding of the Camarilla, already understand that their role they're supposed to play, and probably fill those niches easily because that's what they are expected to do after playing VTM for like fucking 10 years or whatever.
Right.
But new players, like, the fun of playing a new system is exploring the world and testing the limits and seeing what's acceptable and what's not, being punished for it, this, that, and the other. It's no fun to be like, all right, guys, we'll play vampire, but we're going to wait a month and you're going to read everything. And I'm going to quiz you at the end to make sure you understand everything. And then we're going to make vampires with 35 extra experience on top of it, and you've been around for 100 years.
Right.
It's like, that's just...
That would also be fun, though.
Yeah, that's fun for the future, but
I think players, and obviously, like, Shuichi and Camille are a little bit older than the rest of you, so, like, we kind of bring in that element of it, right? Which is something different and kind of teaching you. But also, like, I think our goal is also just to, like, let you guys learn.
Right.
But to remind you of things, like, I love when Shuichi was like, Masquerade.
Masquerade. That was great.
And Oliver's like, fuck no.
Yeah, I was like, sure, Saito, I can see you wanting to make a test, but this is like throwing a hand grenade into a duck pond. Like, this is 50-50. Someone's going to breach the Masquerade here. It's a very dangerous test.
Like, I'll be perfectly honest, I only did it because I thought it would be funny. So I started from there and worked backwards. So the word test never really entered my mind until I first started it. Like 10 minutes after, I was like, I know what Shuichi's doing.
It was mostly because I think Josh didn't want me to get involved in the situation. Because my character is the type of character who is, I'm going to calm and diffuse the situation, right? Like, that's the type of character my character is.
Does that happen with you guys much, where you will have done something just long enough where you sort of lose sight of yourself and you just kind of roll with the role play.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Because there are times when I just start rattling off what I said, and I'll see the chat saying something like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you just said that." I'm like, "Wait, what the fuck did I just say?"
What did I say? Yeah.
What did I? Oh no!
You just embody your character for a while and just let him.
See, I had to do the opposite. I was like, I know what I need to do in this situation, and I'm just gonna sit here and let Ollie talk. This is all I have to do.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Ollie has a lot of great speeches.
Yeah,
he's and this is one of the things I brought up about the YouTube comments. He is your typical like 90s action hero.
Yeah.
That has just sort of sunk away into a whole new realm of misunderstanding and unfortunate events. And someone actually pointed it out. It's like toxic masculinity, be damned, and Ed said everything about it, like that he is your typical action hero. It's like, man, he's built that way for a reason. I hope that people aren't taking that seriously. Like, I don't want people to just necessarily die. Like, I'm Bub, and that's Ollie, and while I may be a facet of Ollie or vice versa, I'm not Ollie.
Right.
Oh yeah. I hope, because I play a lot of weird characters that are nothing like me.
Yeah.
So I understand how that is. And sometimes it's hard to get into the character. Like for Layla, and obviously this character is nothing like me either. So some are always like, what would they do? Because this is not how I would act or do anything,
Right.
you know?
That said, now I know that Ollie's a little bit smarter than I thought. I thought that he was relatively dumb, but quite witted. Now I know he's relatively intelligent because he did the
What's your
whole water
int?
thing. The whole water thing in the bathroom, I'm like, oh, he's intelligent. Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm average.
I think I want to say like 2 or 3.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not like I'm like, I would say that he's feverish at best, right? Like feverishly intelligent. And it's not something where he plots on the surface. I don't make it known because I know that the moment that I start doing that, people are going to start anticipating my moves. I don't want to be some like Sherlock level villain. I want people to think like, well, don't sleep on Ollie because he'll fucking ruin you.
Right.
Yeah, I think people are already afraid you punch them to death.
Oh,
so.
yeah, no, like the punching thing I wasn't that afraid of because like there are ways to mitigate that, ways to get out of that and stuff. But as soon as I walked in the bathroom and you were like, yeah, there's water in the bathroom, I was like,
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was great. That was a great.
He just like hold you under the water.
No, footprints if I'm invisible.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
can't see
have
them if
the alternative to that, which is the smoke bombs I keep on my character, but they would take like a turn to go off. So that'd be a turn in which like Ollie can still like grapple me and then just hold me while I'm invisible. So
Wait,
like,
he could definitely hold you down.
yeah, in which case it's like that's a smart move. Oh dear.
And curious, Mathis, that message I was talking with you about the whole lethal body thing versus fortitude.
Yeah.
What is your in turn ruling about that? Because lethal body turns my punches to aggravated damage.
Right, and fortitude negates superficial.
Only for mortals that aggravated happens, I think.
Yeah, lethal
you might
body
need
is
to check
only...
that, but
I think I was looking at this earlier because I was talking to about this with someone.
Fortitude, the user adds their dots in fortitude as extra dice.
No, it's the ability in potence. It turns your attacks into aggravated damage versus mortals, not versus anyone else. I'm pretty sure.
Page 264.
Sustained. This occurs before halving the damage and cannot refuse.
The user's unarmed attacks can now do aggravated health damage to mortals if desired. Yeah. They also ignore 1 level of armor per potence level of the user. So it's aggravated against mortals.
Yeah, that's why I was concerned if fortitude was treated as like a sense of armor or something like that.
No, fortitude isn't technically armor. It's just extra health.
The only time you'll come into contact with armor in terms of kindred, again, in this game is when it's not kindred, because armor turns aggravated into superficial, but we already turn aggravated into superficial unless it's like a special thing anyway.
Yeah, you only need to worry about fire and
daylight
mostly.
Yeah And I actually can be in daylight for a certain period of time.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty horrific.
Which is creepy, but not for long periods of time, but I won't take as much like damage as like normal vampires.
So just to put this back into my mind here, for me to go to level 4 potence, how much experience is that going
from 3?
20.
20?
20, yeah. You have to save up. I know, I'm in the same boat. I'm saving, bro.
And
it's only 10 sessions.
Level 4 to 5 is what? 25?
25.
Okay.
If it's in your wheelhouse, it's 5 times. If it's not in your wheelhouse,
it's 5 times the level, basically.
5 times the die.
Right.
Speaking of which, I drank some of Camille's blood. Only a tiny bit, but all I need is the taste.
I figured you were up to something.
Yep. Which means that I now have access to your ability pool, though at a higher cost. So.
But I think you're similar to mine anyway.
I don't have access to some of your stuff. I've got domination, which is what you have, but I don't have access to anything else. So, right. Anyway, that's probably we're gonna have to end this and cut it short because we need to run. But thank you for watching the after show. Next week's gonna be interesting. I probably need to talk to a couple of people about how we go.
I'm definitely gonna tune in.
Yeah,
it happens.
Oh man, I'm sad. I sort of wish that we could do the 6-man coterie, but it may be a little cumbersome on Mathis, but it's fun. I'm actually really enjoying role playing with you guys.
Yeah, you're awesome as well, all of you.
It's been amazing. So
yeah,
we'll be back.
Yes, us.
Yeah, I have a feeling they'll be back.
I would like to point out.
I think if you count both of us like as one person, we're like on half the episodes.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
I will point
so
out
we're like an integral part of the story, and we have a lot of stuff, that we have as well.
Cool.
I'll point out to the viewers at home that the fact we had 2 of you on today was entirely the fact we had enough tips and subs last week that we could actually afford to have an extra cast slot. So thank you very much to people.
Yeah, we would have only had one.
Otherwise,
so
yeah, it'd be just being one person. Anyway, thank you for watching, and until next time, may the dice roll over in your favor.
Goodbye.
Bye.